Hey, what's up, people? How's it going now? All right, somebody requested a video on like getting kicked out of a graffiti crew, getting docked from a graffiti writing crew. In other words, you're no longer allowed to write their crew. You're no longer involved with them. They, they pretty much kick you out. They say, "Get out of here. We don't want to be bothered with you. Get," and you're done. We never really had that problem. See, we were a group from our area that hung out with dudes from our area. And our graffiti crew came years after we were actually writing graffiti. I mean, ESP was around and it faded out. I myself would have preferred to just keep ESP going, but it pretty much 357 after. And the people that wrote graffiti were actually a small little group within that group that were just people running around robbing and stealing and shit like that. So we never really had that problem. You see, we played rough. Like, we picked on each other. We broke each other's balls. We busted chops, whatever the term you want to use. But yeah, we were hard on each other. Like, I would say after criminal activity, like robbing, stealing, shit like that, and graffiti, on our spare time, what we did when we were not doing graffiti and stealing and shit like that, because we would fuck with each other hard, man. Yeah, we would bully. It's like oh, the jokes we'd pull on each other. Yeah, we would fuck with each other so hard, man. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it was fun for us. So we would, I mean, seriously, we'd sit down and plot and plan these little fucking things that would like put all the pieces in place for this one moment. You know, to fuck with our friends and shit. That's what we did on a pastime. A lot of people couldn't really hang with that kind of behavior, and a lot of people really didn't want to be associated with us too. So, like to push 357, you're only going to get yourself in a lot of beef, a lot of problems. So, a lot of people really weren't trying to be involved with us. As a matter of fact, put someone down, they're like, no, 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 please, please, I'm all right. I'm okay. I think the last thing they want to do is be involved with us. It's true. I mean, we were fucking around out there like that. We were really ragging shit. We were tearing everyone up, man. We didn't give a fuck. We really didn't give a fuck about all that shit. We were pretty much just involved in our own little bubble. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I remember, even if someone walked by with a ponytail, a dude, if a man walked by wearing a ponytail, we'd be like, hey, ponytail. Yeah, we'd fuck with him. We'd fuck with him, yeah. And we'd fuck with each other, too. Like, I remember Lace, Andrew's brother, had long hair, started wearing a ponytail and shit. We're like, yo, Drew, what's up, man? Because he was the one of the dudes, Lace, that started that shit. Hey, ponytail. Yeah, we'd fuck with people if they walk by with a ponytail. You know, people we don't even know in the street. Shit, yeah, something about a dude with a ponytail didn't sit well. You can have long hair. And, you know, hey, what's up? You know, rock and roll and shit like that. But you can't be putting that shit in a ponytail. Yeah, that was funny shit, man. Yo, I tell you, even with Lace, man, Andrew, we used to fuck around so hard. He, man, I'll get into it when D3 comes on, because he was one of the main culprits too, man. We would fuck around so hard on each other, man. We would just bust each other's chops. Like, here's another one. I think it was Sammy that came up with this one. Say, hey, look, a flying turtle. And I'm like, flying? Like, you know, when someone points up and they say, look, I look up, it catches me right here, like a flying shot. We're always kicking each other in the balls, fucking with each other so hard, man. I remember Frankie Gator, rest in peace, man. He shot a shotgun right outside Lace's window at Pace, but he didn't want to hit Pace. Pace Hot Crew, Pace 357, Andrew, rest in peace. And he shot right above him. He blew out the stop sign, you know, the don't walk and walk it lights and blinks and go ding, ding, ding. And it's got a little dude on it walking or a dude stopping. You know, the don't walk and walk signs in New York City. They're like pretty much like a fiberglass metal, or maybe like a die cast metal. He shot right into the screen of it. All the shit swung down and fell on pace. He was going to kill him, man. They had all these little chunks of plastic and shit. Yeah, it's like right across the street from Sotheby's, too. Like Sotheby's, yeah, Sotheby's, right on York Avenue, like 71st, 72nd Street, where that happened. But that's just wild. No, actually, 72nd, 73rd is where it happened. Right there. Boom. No, we would just fuck with each other. We'd get each other so bad, man. And most people just, they wouldn't hang with that shit. So now, if you fell out of graces with us, we'd fuck with you real hard. And you would just kind of get the picture and just like disappear. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what we would do. Uh, Most of the people, like I said, that hung out with us were criminals that wrote graffiti on their spare time. So you actually have to be with us for a while to actually, it's, yeah, I could tell you some weird stories about people that wanted to be down, and I'm like, well, you know this guy, and I'd be like, oh, it's a closed crew and shit like that. And you had situations like that where people acted like they were down or tried to get involved or something like that. Like I've had people, honestly, on the internet that never met me a day in their fucking life, still to this day, have never met me, asking me to be down with 357. I'm sorry, it's a close crew there, buddy. This, yeah, that's an old dead crew. They don't write no more. It's true. I mean, what the fuck you want to be down with that shit now for? Yeah, it's done, man. It's been done for a while now. But here's another thing. I'm actually down with a lot of great, amazing graffiti crews. I don't talk about them. I don't push them. And the reason behind that is I don't want to bring problems to those people because of our past and the shit we've done. I don't want to infringe on my relationship or my friendship with my other fellow graffiti writing companions. So I don't push their crew out of respect, actually, for them. I don't want to bring no harm to my relationship with them. These are people I hold in high regard or something like that. But yeah, I'm down with a lot of good graffiti crews. I don't do it just for that reason right there. And plus, if I don't really hang out and grow up with it, it's like, it's almost like another card in your wallet. When you get like a CVS card or like a Walgreens card, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like, yeah. And I also think about loyalty in situations like that. When someone like pushes like 20 different crews, that means you got to break down a percentage of their loyalty to each and every one of these people. Like when shit pops off and then they're like, oh shit, I'm cool with those guys because they're so involved with someone else or something like that. It's like you don't have their full attention, so to say, or their capabilities are not totally reliant on you. As a matter of fact, they might favor someone else more than you, but yet be with you. Like, how the fuck does that work? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I always shied away from people that pushed a lot of crews, a lot of graffiti crews. Big stomach turner to me. It's kind of like I'm so important. All these graffiti crews except me. That's kind of the way I see it, in my personal opinion. Graffiti crew jock is what it's known. Um, All right, getting back to graffiti crews and getting kicked out of crews. I don't know how that would work. Like if someone's actually, I mean, I've actually had arguments with PK. I know, yo, fuck you this time. Fuck you. You know what I mean? But it's like, how can like Note not be 357? You know what I'm saying? Like we've actually had arguments and shit. Argued like cats and dogs. I love PK, man. We fight, he tells it like it is. And you had situations. It's like, but he's like, "Oh fuck you." I remember that. I forgot what it was. He's like, "Yo, fuck you. You can't kick me out." Yeah, how the fuck's that gonna sound? He's like, "Yo, check." I remember that shit. It's funny too because it's like, for how long? It's like PK Note 357. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, that was funny shit. I remember arguing with him, something like that. He said, you can't do that. It's true. Like from now till the end of time. It's PK Note 357. That's my boy. But like I said, we all didn't really get along with each other. I mean, in the graffiti aspect of it, yes, because it was such a small percentage of graffiti writers who were actually writing graffiti. The rest of them all robbing and stealing and shit like that, you know. Um, in that graffiti group, I can't really recall a situation. I mean, later on in life, you had a couple of idiots or something like that, and people that acted like they were down and they knew this and that. It was all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You have all types of crazy little situations like that that occur. But hell, I was even kicked out, kind of, from 357 to be truthful with you. Yeah. I mean, what happens is you're shunned away and you're kind of getting the cold shoulder or the silent treatment. Yeah, like school kid shit, man. Yeah, we go there, man. We don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's odd. Yeah, but originally I came out of a divorce. I 90 whatever. Um, I came down to the park. I said, all right, yo, who's up for this shit? Yo, let's go writing, man. Let's take it. They're like, what the fuck are you, 12 years old, Rob? You know, all these guys moved on. I was married for about 4 years, disappeared, didn't get in touch with no one or nothing like that. I come back down like nothing changed. You know, go, let's do this. And you're like, what the fuck, you 12 years old, man? Come on, man. You know, just and they all moved on to big money grabs and shit like that. A lot of wind up in the newspapers. It didn't work out too well for most of them. You know, in any stance of it all. Yeah, I'm like, fuck, man, come on, let's go write graffiti. None of them wanted to write graffiti with me at all. None of them wanted to write graffiti. 357 itself, the group. They didn't want to hang out with me and write graffiti. I started saying, oh, come on, Sean, my brother. Come on, Sean. He's like, "Okay." But he knew this dude that wrote Just, DWC. Now, he introduced me to Just, DWC, later Just 357. That's not just WF from up in the Bronx or nothing like that. Totally different Just. And he introduced me to that dude. We started hanging out. I started tearing shit up with him at 357. So, you know, then the guys that were from up around the park, all of a sudden I'm up, like literally within a couple of months. I took over Manhattan Island, literally just whites. All right, I'm going to show you. Fuck, I wanted to save that because I'm actually dropping a video on my Patreon explaining it all. But I'll put the clip in here too, right now, actually. Link, link, down.
But something about you got me pushing up tight. Do that dance like Aphrodite, cause you might be the chick that make me trip just slightly. Your eyes glisten, your breast, ass, and thighs is hitting. If it ain't love, then this thug is just smitten. A place like this.
All right, that right there clip was of that's out in Queens actually, and that Just tag is the person I was just talking about, and that's that same run. That's when I was actually doing that graffiti with Just the person I'm talking about. So most of my people and D3 at that point, he had picked up and started running with all these younger cats. Rasp, a bunch of them. I started meeting them up in Hunts Point, the South Bronx up there. One guy, real cool dudes and shit. But yeah, so they started actually going over Just and being a little mean to me. So yeah, there's always been little fractions and situations that have occurred, you know, throughout relationships with people. When it goes 40 something years, you're going to have arguments and fights with people and stuff like that. But I don't know how that whole thing transpired with D3 and those guys. They started crossing out Just and whole mess of shit was happening between that situation there. And it was kind of working against me, considering I'm trying to take shit down, you know? And that was always my mentality, which is another good point I'll bring up right now. On one of my lives, you know, we're talking about this and that, and I'm like, you know, the city was pretty quiet at that point. No one was really making no noise. Everyone pretty much quit, and me and Josh came in and we would smash and shit like crazy. And I noticed in my lives just the other day, someone commented, "Oh, what about this guy? What about that one? And this and that." And I'm like, yeah, but you don't get what I'm saying. Like, I'm talking about smashing shit. Like, this is me, RD over here. I'm not talking about someone that is like bar hopping and in between going from one bar to another bar. They take out a magic marker and write their fucking tag. I'm talking someone that's out there 7, 8 hours, fucking a night, 3 nights a fucking week. Just killing shit. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Totally different when you're just talking about some asshole that's out there drinking and fucking walking from bar to bar, writing on lampposts and shit like that. No, no, no. Of course, people have always done that. People have always done that, me included. I don't even go to bars, and you can still see little mean streak tags of mine and shit like that. It's a habit. It's hard to fucking kick. But I am not talking about that. I'm talking about people that set in mind, I am fucking taking this shit down. And they fucking take shit down. They were not doing that. You always have these little garden variety fucking flower picking fucking people, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're out there with their little tags here and there. That's not what a mindset. Like, if you ever notice, even with D3 is a good example. When they come out, they fucking come out. It's like, you know, they're out. It's not like, oh, I think I just saw this. I think I just saw. It's like, oh, motherfuckers going hard. That's a whole different fucking way of graffiti. Like, what you're talking about is someone that's not in it yet. They're not honestly, they're more like a fucking, I don't even know what you would call something like that. Hanger on, a fucking, what is it? Someone that's not deep into something, but they dabble in it. I want to say a weekend warrior, but I actually did all my graffiti on the weekends, so I can't say a weekend warrior. Because that's what I was. But I don't know, man. If you could think of a good word for that, man, leave it in the comments. You know, you have someone that's not really uh, like an amateur, but no. Um, it's like you haven't reached a level, but you are involved in it, an enthusiast. That word will drive me crazy all day, man. Think of something and leave it in the comments there, people. What else could I say? So yeah, I mean, you always have little frictions and arguments and fights and shit like that amongst each other. And we really played rough. Like we were really like fucked up, man. Yeah, like if we rob someone, then we got to worry about the people we robbed something with from robbing us. Yeah, it's good. Capri, yeah, the story that was dropped. I'm forgetting that guy's thing, man. He does a great job. He just did one on Dessa and stuff like that. Yeah, what did JWF for documentaries or something like that? Yeah, I think in the live too. One of my lives with D3, we talk about that story. But yeah, it's wild, man. Most people just like, why? Like, it's just too much energy being wasted in negative ways. But that's what charged our batteries, man. You know? Yeah, it's true. It's like everything was so negative, and like the cup was always half empty. You know, it's like it's fine. You know what I mean? It was just the way we grew up. I mean, coming out of juvenile systems and stuff like that, and you kind of got scratched. And you know, that's what we did. We just scratched and fucking fucked with each other all fucking day, every fucking day. And the craziest thing is, we would all meet together and do it the next day. And then we'd all meet together and do it the next day. It's pretty much what you get used to. And I've learned later on in life, now that I'm a 55-year-old man, is when I don't have problems, is when I have problems. Like, I start to realize that when everything's all calm and quiet, I'm uncomfortable. It's like I hate silence. Like, silence is like so noisy to me. Yeah, weird fucking shit, man. You start realizing shit like that when you get older, man. It's like, most people are looking for tranquility, but I'm always looking for confusion and aggravation. And I see that very similar trait was in Kez 5. I have a very interesting character, man. Catch Five definitely lived on the drama and the aptness and stuff like that. There's a few cats out there that carried it on their sleeve. Definitely, yeah. But yeah, we would fuck with each other so fucking hard, man. That's all we did. Like if we weren't writing graffiti and we weren't committing crimes, we were picking on each other, man. Yeah, we were always fucking around, causing each other problems and shit. But we loved each other. It was just funny as fuck, man. That's like, here he comes, you know? Oh man, oh crazy fucking times, man. And I'll tell you, we all didn't really get along with each other either, but it never got in the way of pulling off caper. Yeah, like we were, it never got in the way of work, so to say. And with the graffiti aspect of it, it really never got in the way. I mean, here's a perfect example. I was actually explaining it in Tishman once. I was talking about this many episodes back. How John hit a writer once with this thing that's like a tool we used to use to open the hatches. And the guy had said he was going over me at one point. We just met up with him. I think DB might have been there. I was like, I wasn't even mad at the guy. Like he said he was going over me, this, that. And I didn't even know. I'm the D's, and I haven't fucked with the D's for about 7 or 8 months at that point. I kind of let them go. Actually, it was the A. I'm like, I'm never on the A train. Like most of the graffiti I did on the A's was like a year or two before this even happened, maybe even 3 years before this happened. So I'm like, no worries, man. We'll give them some. The guy, like, yeah, John, JJ, hit him in the head with this fucking thing. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. Later on, I get back to Lace's house. I'm like, Lace, man, he's the oldest of us all. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you gotta talk to JJ, man. He almost killed this fucking guy. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. So Andrew's like, he's more like hanging out with you and this and that. And, I was like, well, it was a problem. So anyway, Andrew goes to John Lace. Lace goes to JJ and says, look, dude, what the fuck, man? You can't go bashing people in the head with fucking metal objects, man. Like that shit's gonna fuck it up, man. That's like a beautiful place. We want to be able to do whole cars and shit down there. Don't fuck it up. They would park the I don't think it was the double R's back then. Yeah, it was the double R's, the flats back then with the 4 doors on them. Tishman, as we're talking about, under Central Park. He's like, yo, you can't go run around bashing people in the fucking head with a crowbar, man. You just don't do that shit, man. You're gonna fuck the place up. Like, oh, stop. I'm like, all right, this, that. So that was like the weekend before. So it's like the next weekend comes around. We all go down to Tishman. The trains would be parked down there the whole weekend. They won't pull out till Monday. So me, Lace, JJ, a couple others were there. And I think, no, that was a different time. But anyway, we come up on a writer, an old school writer. Lace has a lot of respect for this writer. And the guy is talking to Lace about stuff he's done before my time. Lace's stuff that he's done before my time. So I'm like young, maybe 16, 17 years old or something. Lace is probably already 20 or something like that. This guy's like 20 something. So they're like, yeah, I remember this car and that car. And then he's talking about this lace piece or something like, I'm like, yeah, I remember. I saw that. So the guy looks at me like, oh, shut up, toy. Like that's the look he gave me. So then Lace is like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I did that in the 2s and 5s, and the 6s, and this and that. And the guy's like, yeah. And then Lace tells him, well, yeah, I remember this piece you did on this line, this and that. I was like, yeah, remember Drew Lace? I was with you when you took that picture, remember? And he like, the dude again looks at me like, damn, like I was eager or something like that. So kind of like turning the food away from him, right? Yeah. So I move over. Yeah. You can see how I talk, right? So I really like the dude. I'm like, man, well, fuck that dude, man. I think he actually called me a toy or something. I'm a motherfucker. So I'm with John, JJ, right? So Lake's doing a whole car. I believe it's the one with the parrot. No, one of them. I can't remember, but he's doing. I think it's just a regular big old lace blockbusters with colors in it, right? So he's doing the whole side of the train and shit. So this guy goes. He was doing something on the other side of the train where Lace is on the catwalk. so he can reach the top of the train. It's like a platform almost, but it's small. It's only like this big. It's like 4 feet or something. You can stand on it, and walk, and do your whole car. It's called the catwalk. And the guy is on the other side of the train, and it's the second to last car on the set that's parked there in the tunnel. This is so it's pretty well lit too. Not like most other tunnels. It's actually very well lit. As lit as this room is, so maybe a little more dim or more yellowish the lighting. So I'm like, man, I'm mad, you know. So I'm walking out of the arm and start to do my whole car and shit, top to bottom. I think it was. Just a big block inside. I do them all the time. So I rush through my shit, you know. I go over there. So the whole time, JJ's like this. Yo, Rob, man, that's fucked up, yo, man. That dude said you're a toy. He's like, yo, that dude this or that, and blah blah blah. Like, I'm like, yeah, right. That's fucked up. He get me going, you know, putting the batteries in my back. He's like, yo, that dude said you're a toy, man. Yo, fuck this, that, yo, fuck that shit, man. This shit is crazy. Yo, you know, he pretty much just that, like, instigating me. You know, and I'm over there, I'm like, yeah, right, man. I'm like, come on. So I go over, right? So I look where he's at, and I could see I'm on the last car doing mine, and he's on the second to last, but on the other side. Same train set, but the other side. So I peek around, so I go over there. And so I go, I'm like with John looking at him, like, yeah, there you go, right there. Look at that motherfucker coming over there talking shit and this and that. Treat me like that, you know? No, we were fucking crazy like this. This is true shit. So I'm like, yo, keep Andrew busy. Here's what I tell him: keep Lace busy. Because, you know, Lace don't want no problems after John was bashing this other guy in the head with this big fucking hatch tool the week before. So now here I am scheming on beating this guy up, right? And he's an older fella. So I'm like sitting there scheming on beating him up. So I tell John, JJ, 357, I say, yo, you know, keep Lace busy over there, you know? Don't, you know, I'm fucking screwed up, man. So I go over to the dude and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. I remember I stand right where he's trying to do his lines. He has to actually like look at me and be like, yo, get the fuck out of my way or something, or act like a punk and just let me stand there. You get me? It's a big whole showdown showing off here, you know. So I leave my arm there, you know, I'm standing and looking at him and shit. You know, like I just think, you know, like excuse me? like, you know, trying to be like, excuse me? You know, I'm like, fuck, man. Fuck you, all that shit you talking, this, that, right? I gave him like a headlock. I start punching him and shit. He's like, you hear the train rattling around a little bit and stuff. So as I got him like this, I'm choking him and fucking him. I hear JJ's like, come on, yo, Drew, hurry up, man, get over here, yo. Rob's killing this fucking guy over there, man. You see this, that, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, I just told you guys. So he gets Lace, right? Lace beat me up once. And he comes running around the corner, right around the train. Yo, Rob, what the fuck are you doing? We just talked to him. He's like, yeah, I know. And he's over there, this and that. I'm like looking at John, like, why the fuck you doing that? He's like, you ratted on me. You know, because I told on him the week before. But, you know, I told Andrew Lace, I'm like, yo, dude, man, John almost killed this guy. He hit him in the head with this big fucking metal thing. I can do it on the floor like this. I was ready to hang him under the seats of a fucking subway. I thought he was dead. It's like, yo, we can't have this. And the next week, I'm over there starting some shit. I'm beating the guy up. I'm banging his head off the side of the subway. Andrew comes around the corner, right? So he's like, yo, and John's like, yo, see, man, look at that shit. That's fucked up. Yo, come on, Rob. You're going to burn the place, man. Can't be doing shit like this. What are you, stupid? You know, John's like, behind, and he's short. John's like, maybe 5 feet, if even. Yeah, little guy, man. He's like, up and holy shit, look, Drew. And you over there talking to me. Look at Rob. Rob's over there, this, that, blah, 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 blah. So I think the guy's a little disheveled and shit, right? So Andrew's like, yo, I'm sorry, man. Yo, just finish your piece, man. Yo, this won't happen, man. My bad, man. Yo, I got nothing but respect for you and shit, right? So the guy starts his piece again, right? Yeah. So I start coming back over there and some shit, you know? I'm like, yo, fuck that dude, right? So again, the whole shit happens. You know? The guy is like, I'm leaving. And she was like, no, no, finish, finish your graffiti, you know? He said, yo, Rob, come on, get out of here this day. I'm like, fuck, I gotta leave. Like some crazy shit like that. So anyway, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna wait for that motherfucker in the tunnel, dude. You better face this shit. Yeah, the dude's like, are you kidding? He's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, yo, if I gotta fucking go right now, Drew, you better off me being right here with you. And if not, I'm gonna wait for that bitch in the fucking tunnel. I'm gonna beat his fucking ass. At least here you see me here. Don't go fucking say no shit like that. Fuck that. Hell no. I'll beat his ass extra hard now. Shit. The dude's like, and it's almost like Andrew couldn't pay the fucking guy to stay. Yeah, it's so funny. But the funny part is how like you see, being I told on JJ the night before, the week before, he told on me that weekend. But yeah, like just weird, funny shit, man. We used to fucking do funny shit. But when it came to us older guys, man, back then, like early '80s and shit, oh, it was a fun, man. It was so fun. We would fuck with each other so hard. But by the time the crack came out in the streets, the city became different. We're more like, what's this motherfucker up to? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all it's more like you had to be on your P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it was different. It was more violent and it wasn't as fun. Like we were still having blast, man. We were setting it off. We were having fun as fuck. But it was just a different, like, smell in the air, I guess would be the term, or a different vibe. Shit, like people were suffering. Yeah, people were suffering, man. That crack shit, forget about it. That was some shit we didn't plan on. Just like this shit now with these migrants and stuff like that. But what I can say is I'm going to do an episode. I'll end with this on New York City right now. A lot of you guys ask me, "Oh, Rob, how's New York City and this and that?" And I'm honestly speechless. I'm at a loss for words to explain what I'm witnessing out here now. And the funny thing is, I didn't even really see it that much due to the fact that I just go to work and come home. And I don't really travel much. Haven't been to Central Park or anything, for a while. So I haven't really, I mean, I was down near Broadway, down near Wall Street not too long ago. But yeah, other than that, it's like I'm not writing graffiti or nothing. Although that's how I really get around is when I'm writing graffiti and stuff. So I haven't really witnessed it. I was on the phone to PK Note. It's not actually in the city either right now. And he's talking to me, and I'm telling him, man, I don't know, like, I think it's all just media hype. I mean, I see a couple people here and there, but it just seems like a homeless population was turned up a little bit. It's nothing like too crazy. So as I'm telling PK this on my son's phone, because he called my son's phone, I don't have a phone. I'm like, so then my son's like, no, wait a minute, what are you telling him, man? He's like, dude, because my son's out there like that. He's like, yo, this shit is crazy. It's like, yo, go down 42nd Street, man. Like any time of day, any time of night, like 42nd Street and Broadway, the crosswalks of the fucking world. Go over there. And like I did, and I was fucking speechless. This shit's like fucking Baghdad, yo. I am not fucking lying. It's like, yo, like I honestly am trying to do a video on this shit, and I'm trying to not get in trouble on here, but not that I give a fuck about being canceled or anything like that, but I don't want to send the wrong message. I don't want to be, how I talk and I'm a New Yorker and shit. So I really want to keep my feelings and opinions out of it because that shit was fucking wild, man. And I also can't help but think the Happy Land up in the 180s, up in the Bronx during the 1980s, 90s, maybe early 90s, late 80s, early 90s or something. The one with Bester tag on it. Bester. Here's a good writer, man. Definitely underrated, man. Bester. TR, I guess the Rascals, not the Rebels, probably the Rascals. Probably with Pre-Sweet and them. But yeah, Bester, yeah, down with the, like, Tabor and them. He used to get up a lot. But there was this place called Happy Land. It was up on 108th University. I forget the exact address. I remember I used to go to the DMV when I was living up in the Bronx and stuff around that area. But yeah, the place burned down. The guy burned it down because of something that he had an argument with his girlfriend, and I forget what happened, but he fucking set the place on fire. There was only one way in, one way out, same way, like one entrance, and there was no way out in the back, and like 80 something people died. Crazy thing, his girlfriend actually lived, and he lived, but he was an illegal migrant. Yeah, way back in the 80s. And I remember they were outstanding. Like, oh my God, this guy, he came into this country and this and that. Like, that was the big pitch all over the news when this thing happened. That this is, this person was illegally in this country. I forget where he's from, maybe Cuba or something. I don't know. I don't want to. It was definitely a Spanish country. I don't remember exactly which country he came from. But I do believe remembering the number one pitch. I mean, I was actually out writing graffiti at that point in my life. Like that's Bester tags right on it. Bester. If you look at the footage of that place, all you see is a big Bester tag right on that fucking thing. Might have even been the early '90s, but yeah, it's a Bester tag on there. And I was paying attention to the news, and I was full alert, a grown man. It's not like I was a child or something. I was a grown man who was capable of acknowledging what I'm watching, you know. And I remember all that. The main thing was that the guy was illegal in this country. I look at the country now, huh? So I guess to put it in a nutshell, I really do want to do one on New York City and what's going on out there. Like an episode and actually have footage of me out there, maybe even talk to some people. I have friends that speak Spanish and shit. Maybe they could help me out with it. I don't. I mean, other than like La Muchacha es bonita, something like that, maybe, but ¿cómo está? I don't know Spanish. I mean, I passed Spanish in high school and all, but that's it. Um, D3 knows Spanish. Hey, yeah, I should tell him. He's got his whole channel, man. He does DE, the number three, TV. D3 TV. Yeah, that's D3, Sammy. Um, He does more stuff about jails and shit, but yeah, that'd be something interesting. Maybe I'll talk to him. Maybe we'll chip in, together and do something on that. All right, what else is there? But it's sad, man. It's like I'm a loss for words. What's going on? Like like it's almost like when you donate blood, but you donate more blood than your body could physically sustain to stay alive. Like you give more blood and you actually need some of that blood to stay alive. It's kind of like that, man. It's just, yeah. I mean, even with all this crime and stuff, and the people that are coming in, it's bad. If you originally hear me on this podcast, on my channel here, I actually saying doesn't, I don't really see nothing. I mean, I actually put it this way. I said, if I was in Mexico and I wasn't living too well and I figured I could live a better life in America, then I'd sneak across that fucking border my damn self. So I don't blame the actual migrants. It's kind of like you look at all these money grabs that's going on out there. They're stealing people's houses and robbing and stealing and stuff like that. Crimes go in and out of fashion by laws that are put into place. I've lived it. I've fucking lived it. Like I've seen waves of different kinds of crimes. Car radios, busting in the cars and stealing the car radios. Oh well, they started coming up with all these weird little concoctions. You pull the radio out and it won't fit in any other like sleeve or something like that. And all types of anti-theft devices and this and that. And now no one even gives a fuck about a radio. They just take their phone and put it there and they listen to their music and stuff in the car. But yeah, so many different things have come into place, and then laws have been put into place to stop that from happening. Um, I mean, hell, even looking like the mafia and stuff like that. Perfect example. Now, all like lotto and everything, it's all like legal, like gambling and stuff like that. It's legal. Smoking marijuana. Look at marijuana. Perfect example. It's fucking legal. So, yeah, but this is like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem financially feasible, or it's not a good investment. It's just, I don't even know how to word it. I would have to say that it's more than meets the eye that's going on in this country, I guess would be the proper way to put it. It's definitely more than I'm aware of that's going on out there, more than I could possibly comprehend. It's probably above my knowledge, the level of knowledge that I've consumed throughout my life. I probably couldn't understand it because my mind is fucking blown. Blown. I've never fucking saw this city this bad in my fucking life. It's heartbreaking. And I will do an episode on it, but I don't want to sit there whining and bitching about how heartbreaking it is. I want to try and actually do like a real investigative situation and give you exactly the way it is without my opinions in it. And I don't really know if I'm capable of doing that right now. So maybe time will cure that problem. And maybe in time we won't have this problem and I won't have to do an episode about it. But I don't know how else to put it, people. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
But something about you got me pushing up tight. Do that dance like Aphrodite, cause you might be the chick that make me trick just slightly. Your eyes glisten, your breast, ass, and thighs is hitting. If it ain't love, then this thug is just smitten. A place like this.
One thing I forgot to mention is that little snippet of the video clip that I showed you is Gang Star. The right girl in the wrong place. I don't know what year it came out, but those tags were probably done late 98, 99. Because I don't really, we went hard when we came out. And a funny thing also is that's not in Manhattan. That's actually in Queens, Queensbridge houses. I'm dropping an episode on that on my Patreon, all about that. And I used to hang out with a few dudes that were from Queensbridge houses. Yeah, world-renowned Queensbridge houses. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. So from when I met Justin, hung out with him, and wrote Graffiti, I could talk on that. But when that was actually released, I'm sorry, I don't know much about rap music. But those guys, they actually did put me in a few things. Actually, Prodigy also, they videoed in front of, no, they took a picture in front of one of my big RDs I did in the Hall of Fame. Um, it's just I was up a lot, so I get up in a lot of different things, and I guess that's the best way to explain it. Throughout decades, actually, the length of time that you could see between all these fucking movies and videos and stuff like that. There's RD tags in the background, which would mean that I was active throughout those times in life. I think that's pretty cool. Not many people could do that. You know who could probably outdo me? Send 4. I bet you Send 4 has probably been in more movies and more videos and shit like that than me. Yeah, Send 4. Probably. I don't know. I don't want to go swelling his head up or not. No, I like Send 4 shit. He's good, man. I mean, we had differences. I'll tell you, the reason I say that too is I'd see fire hydrants when I'm watching TV, like Law and Order or something like that, or a movie. I'm like, yeah, bitch, is an RD. And I'll see some spray paint on it. And I'm like, fuck, yeah. And I rewind it. And I look at it, fuck, Send 4. Like, wah, wah, wah. I ain't gonna lie, man. Well, this is all about being truthful here, man. Don't go getting it distorted. Peace.